Describe your autistic ADHD experience. Well, I've always been an all-or-nothing creature of extremes, constantly vacillating between one polarity to the other. I get irrationally frustrated at families' inability to plan anything because I feel like you're robbing me of part of the experience, which is the excitement of. The only time I'm ever really comfortable is when I'm in these liminal spaces that don't even exist, but that's okay because it's more like a moment, and time and space are the same thing anyway, right? As a kid, the only time I could ever sleep was when everyone else was awake. I don't know, maybe that just made me feel safe. I just really enjoy going to bed when my friends are over. But I hate bed. I'm constantly depressed, and on top of that, I'm a little annoyed because everyone thinks it's because I don't know how beautiful the world is, when in actuality, it's because I very much feel like I do know how beautiful the world is and no one else will notice it with me. And not just physically, but also mentally and conceptually. Like, if I have 3 hours to do something, that first hour is going to be spent just prepping, and that last hour is going to be spent in anxiety about cleaning up. And even if there's nothing to clean up, that approaching deadline of the time ending doesn't really let me focus. I'm very aware that's very confusing for friends and family because in a lot of ways, I'm very understimulated and I'm very overstimulated at the same time when it comes to sensory processing things. I am a walking contradiction, but I also know that doesn't make me special. I really don't have any favorites because everything is my favorite. I'm really obsessed with categories because, you know, hashtag thinking, and it helps me understand the world better, but I'm also very opposed to labels. You put a new label on a label, it's still a label. And I think being hyperverbal and hyperlexic definitely contributed to my early awareness that language was the key to being understood, and we're all out here using different definitions for words. You know what I mean? When it comes to the difference of something being the opposite of something as opposed to the equivalent of something, like I am that space. I like how the phrase nothing matters can be both positive and negative. What is actually more disturbing? Having to endure life already know the ending, or having to endure life absolutely knowing nothing? Like, castles are really tombs. It's like ships gotta sail, you know? Partly because I live so much in my head and I have such a strong, vivid imagination to my own detriment that the anticipation of the experience is often more rewarding than the experience itself. I feel like I'm just the wrong stencil. I really understand how people can make art in stolen moments, or how people can like relax on command. Apparently, like, neurotypicals can do that very easily. Kind of like a child because I'm very easily mesmerized by things like dust and a ray of light, finding a leaf that looks like a star leaf from Land Before Time. When my dog notices airplanes. When we move, I'm trying to convince my partner to let me make one of the bedrooms into a break room, like where you break things. I think that's something that all families could benefit from. And if we're not autistic, we all need like ways to channel anger. You know, instead of just internalizing it like passive aggressively. I don't know how people can relax when they have things hanging over their head. And people would say that I do that, but I'm not relaxing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm not relaxing. Do I have fun? I don't really think I experience carefree fun like everyone else does. What is that? When I learned about dopamine-seeking behavior, it really made sense to me. Cigarettes, midnight snacks. My personal rhythm tends to be a little bit faster, which makes people assume that I'm not relaxed, which makes me tense. Being relaxed has nothing to do with speed, you know? And our personalities, as we know it within the social construction, are all just trauma responses anyway.